My company is Artist Speak. I work with KT and Torii. I started building IRS records from the beginning with the police. I ran Virgin's promotion department for 17 years, worked on hundreds of soundtracks with them, Shangri-La, films and music. I was the head of licensing at Fader. And in my 6.5 years at Ingrooves, that's where I met KT and Torii Wolf. And we became great friends and have worked together since. And it's a pleasure working with them. And I hope you'll love what they do, and Kris. And relative to that, I'd like to introduce from the film music world. He's a musician, a composer, engineer, trailblazer, creative music whiz, the president of music for the iconic studio at Warner Brothers, Paul Brusek, leading the worldwide film music team. So there you go, sir. You're a go. And he's a good friend of KT Tunstall. So I'm so glad you decided to do this. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, John. And thank you for the Guild. I didn't have to think about whether I wanted to do this or not. Michael asked me or recommended me. I am privileged to call KT a friend for many years, and we've worked together on a project, and she's just awesome. And I could talk about her for a couple of days, but we won't because music's more important. And then I've gotten to know two new artists that we're also going to meet and hear today, Torii Wolf and Kris Angelis, and loving their music. Love you guys already. So, that's what I've been listening to all week, and videos and whatnot. And so without too much further ado, I would like to, Michael, set us up with KT. KT, I think you're going to start with a couple songs for us.
I am.
And then we're going to have a bit of a chat and see if anybody has any questions, wants to know what your favorite color is, whether, sushi or steak and all that kind of stuff.
All the questions you wish you got asked in interviews and they never ask you.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to start off with a brand new song. It's not strictly brand new. I actually wrote it quite some time ago. It was back in the early writing sessions, but one of those songs that stays with you and never finds its place on a record and then comes back to the surface again. The creative lava lamp. And this one feels really, really special for right now. It's a song about just not being able to say everything that you need to say to someone, and making sure that you try and do that before it's too late. And this is called Anything at All.
Shadows in your eyes, never compromise the light that they give out. Hide yourself inside a shell, suits you very well, 'cause now you won't come out. Feels like walls are coming down, falling all around me. It gets so hard to see through this history. Then I hear the silence coming, it's when I fall. I haven't had the chance to tell you anything at all. Anything at all. Be the paper to my pen, maybe only then you'll know how deep we go. Give me a little part of your heart, you know I'd like to keep it. And with all the love I show, maybe it will grow. Then I hear the diamonds come, it's when I fall. I haven't had the chance to tell you anything at all. Anything at all. Anything at all. Anything at all. Then I hear silence coming, when I fall. I haven't had the chance to tell you everything at all. And I wish I'd had the chance to tell you everything and more. Or anything at all.
Cheers. Thank you. Say what you need to say, people. So shall I carry on and play you another one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I thought it would be cool to put, and thank you so much for everyone's lovely comments. Yeah, be the paper to my pen. I was pleased with that. Thank you, Kris. So I wanted to juxtapose that with one of my old songs, and this one, it's just one of those amazing half hours in your life where you sit in your basement looking at the Robert Mapplethorpe photograph of Patti Smith on the cover of Horses and look at her and just go, shit, man, I want to be like that. I've just spent 10 years trying, and here's this amazing woman looking at me, and she's just being, you know, she's not trying. It's just an existence as a musician. And I'd been listening to a lot of blues music, Bo Diddley specifically, and then I'm looking at this picture of Patti Smith, and I write a song that is 100% all about that photograph of Patti Smith on the cover of Horses. And it was an extremely good half hour of my life, let me tell you.
Face is a map of the world, is a map of the world. You can see she's a beautiful girl, she's a beautiful girl. Everything around her is a silver pool of light. People who surround her feel the benefit of it if ain't she can. She holds you captivated in her palm. Suddenly I see, this is what I want. Suddenly I see why the hell it means so much to me. This is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see why the hell it means so much to me. And I feel like walking the world, can't do that right now. You can see she's a beautiful girl, she's a beautiful girl. Fills up every corner like she's born black and white. Makes you feel warm when you're trying to remember my earth. She likes to leave it hanging on the word. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see why the hell it means so much to me. This is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see why the hell it means so much to me. And she's telling the most, she's looking at me. I can see her eyes looking from the page of a magazine. Makes me feel like I could be a tower, big, strong, tired. Power to be, power to give, the power to see. Yeah, yeah, oh, well, we did it. Power to be, the power to give, the power to see. Yeah, yeah, oh, power to be, the power to give, the power to see. Yeah, yeah. Power to be, the power to give, the power to see. Yeah, yeah.
That was great.
Thank you.
Awesome. I never get tired of your songs.
Oh my God. I have to say, thank you, Paul. I'm so glad that I didn't get famous with a really depressing song. And I had to play that every single gig.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was working in London before we knew each other, and the video for Black Horse and the Cherry Tree came on. And I thought, who is this woman? This is awesome. It's so raw and available and honest. And I think that's what, all of us who get involved with music know, that if you believe somebody, if you believe an artist, you believe a singer, you believe a song, then it touches you emotionally. And if you don't, it can sound wonderful. It can be technically perfect, but, nobody's home.
Yeah.
And I know that you cut albums with bands, but you fearlessly get up there and do it all by yourself, and you're a pedal master.
Yeah. I'm actually Ed Sheeran's mom. No one knows that, but
well, I hope that Ed's sending you a little bit of what he's making. Because
I think it was a really strange alignment of stars with that song, because I often find myself wondering whether that song would be so successful now. It seems so naive and kind of innocent compared to a lot of stuff that's popular now, and I wonder if it would have cut through. But it seemed to hit at this really great moment, which kind of feels like it. I was saying earlier today, it was almost like the encore of the record buying gig. Do you know what I mean? Right in 2004, and it just seemed to really hit a kind of, I don't know, like maybe a female aspirational pocket of time with everything that was going on, and it was such a positive global response to it. It was amazing and not expected,
Yeah, well, and there's a story behind it, isn't there? That it wasn't originally on the album.
Well, that was Black Horse.
Black Horse.
Yeah. So we can definitely. I'm going to spin that today.
You are.
So we can talk about that. But
you talk about it.
Huh?
We'll talk about that later after.
Yeah, let's talk about it then. It's a crazy story, and I think probably not as uncommon as you might think with bands. Sort of once the pressure is off an artist, the pressure is off of finishing the record, of then just writing an absolute banger once everything's done and no one's kind of looking at you for anything. It's an interesting thing. I think it happened to Coldplay with Yellow, where I think perhaps that song wasn't slated on the track listing, and then Chris Martin sits and writes that song once they're all finished.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that I've always been attracted to you and your music is the fact that you're able to turn the very personal into a very sort of relatable thing, and that seems easy when people do it, but I think it's not, or maybe it is. Maybe you made a deal with the devil at some cross. That's a word.
I think one of my favorite games to play when I'm writing songs is to rewrite the cliche. So cliches are consistently used in songwriting, sometimes to great effect, sometimes in a really banal way where it kind of turns us off. But what I love about cliche is they're relatable moments in our lives. They're relatable situations and relationships and sayings, and finding new ways of actually framing those and telling storytelling around those. So I love titles. I've always loved titles of songs. And I just think, Suddenly I See was a really good example of managing to encapsulate something very broad in a short title that a lot of people related to. And I wasn't trying to do that, but I see it with hindsight that's what it did, was that almost anyone could relate to that feeling. But I think the other thing too is, Tapestry by Carole King is my songwriting Bible. And I go back to it all the time because I feel like she's very good at reminding me that you just sometimes say it how it is, and you don't always have to be incredibly poetic and clever. We're not poets. I think poetry and songwriting are very different things, because you have the music to back up your words with songwriting. So we can say, baby, you're killing me. And it can sound incredibly emotional if it's with the right music. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be super flowery and kind of wrapped in metaphor all the time. And and Carole King really always reminds me of that saying it how it is can be incredibly powerful and very honest as well. You're not kind of putting up the poetic barrier of how you're feeling in a really raw way.
A couple of years ago, my wife was producing a short film with a bunch of young British women in their 20s and mid-late 20s and early 30s. And it was all female story, a female cast. Oh, they let a couple of guys in just sort of for furniture. And your name came up, and I don't think I was surprised, but I was really happy that you are a real role model for young artists, and so well known in the UK and over here. I mean, you've touched a lot of young women, and they see you as a powerful, available, uncomplicated in the right ways. Just like honest. I guess honest.
I'm loving feeling that coming as well. And you may not be able to see, but lockdown, I've decided to go gray. I'm not dyeing my hair anymore. It's time, it's time to step into a role. And that's what I'm doing with El Gato, the label that I've started that Plen was talking about, where the one thing that I needed when I was a young artist was to be able to find out who I was before other people started telling me what I should be. And I had quite a long time to do that. And I really massively benefited from the getting a record deal process actually taking fucking ages. Was that I got my publishing deal and then I developed for a long time. And so that's kind of something that I'm really interested in offering, is just artists who are finding they can't quite find their feet. Give a safe space to do that, where you're not signing contracts and someone's trying to make money back on you as fast as possible, Right.
Well, you could be the patron saint of late bloomers. You're proving that you just get better.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I still feel very vital in terms of my own work. Like, I'm still not interested in putting anything on a record that hasn't had the same amount of attention and care into it. And I get a lot of fulfillment from that, knowing that that's my approach to making music.
Yeah, I think
even if it's not selling 5 million copies anymore.
Not many people do, so it's a different world than when
it's a totally different world, right? That's what's wild, is I'll often be asked, like, what's your advice? And I'm like, what can I say? I haven't had this experience that they're having now, and it's really tough for new artists. But I would still say, be honest, get good at performing, and try and directly contact people who really like what you do. That's what I did.
And you're finding the engagement for social media and Patreon and all those.
Yeah.
Have you done Twitch yet?
I haven't. I've just been watching my friend Shura basically going on there and just playing video games with all our fans.
Well, that's what it started out, but I know several musicians that they could get a nice following playing music.
Well, we all have to sort of become engineers right now. We all have to become multifaceted at how we do this at the moment. And the more creative you can be, and the more you can learn about how to use these platforms, definitely the more reach you're going to have. But for me right now, the important thing is locating the people who really are into what I do and nurturing that, rather than nurturing a big, wide open, vast vacuum that actually there's no feedback from that, and there's no financial feedback from that. It's just, vast open space with 40,000 songs a day going into it. And I actually really want to cultivate more of a community of people who are really invested in music and buying music.
Well, I think conversation I've had with my friends about, there's so much great music. I mean, it's been democratized. The barriers have come down so artists can get directly to their potential fans. But, it's overwhelming. It's all of us probably here on the same mailing list of all this great music from major labels, major publishers, management companies, and then the indies, and then other stuff that you get. I, for one, find it overwhelming because I want to listen to it all.
I know.
And how do you do that? And I think this group, the Guild, and all of us that are involved in the creative areas of music, we all have to be sort of tastemakers in our own way, and almost like going back to when I was a kid and when we were growing up, and you'd have your favorite bands and you'd have your crew and you'd share, have you heard of this artist and you heard this artist, and you built your own sort of playlist in the terms of a community, and you found artists through other people. And
well, what I've found as well is I've been thinking a lot about the meaning of local audience, right? So when we start out as young artists, we try and build a local audience. And for me, that was in St Andrews in Scotland. And then it was in Edinburgh, and then it was in London, and trying to build that. And actually what's happened with the internet and with streaming is that I think you still do want to build a local audience, but it's not about geography anymore. It's just about what people love listening to.
Well, we're glad that we have you in California.
Well, I'm glad I'm here, especially now all my friends in the UK are starting to say that it's getting dark at 4 o'clock and raining all day. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for your journey.
The flip side of those long, late summer nights in the north. I know. The short days, and when it's dark at 8:15.
Hey, look, that's where that's where some amazing music has come from. You look at Iceland as well. I just find it fascinating. I think people who are kind of forced into dark rooms for hours over the winter end up making amazing records.
Yeah, look at the Swedes. I mean,
I know.
own the world musically, but
yeah.
Well, there's so much we could talk about. We've got some great more music to share with everyone. I want to just briefly introduce this next artist, Torii Wolf. Torii, I am loving your music. You're right up my alley. You're so eclectic. I would love to know what your favorite records were. I would like to think I could guess some of them or some of the artists, but you make it your own, and I'm really excited to hear you play today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. This is so cool. Thank you so much for having me. I was thinking I'd play a tune that I normally don't do on the acoustic, but especially based on what KT was just talking about, how when you make a full album and then all of a sudden the pressure's off and you just make your favorite record and it has to go on the album. I made an album with DJ Premier and we were done. It was wrapped. And then I was listening through some of his beats that he had made for someone else, and I was like, I need this. Let's do it. And it ended up being my favorite one. It's called Shadows Crawl. I'm talking in my sleep, where my shadows crawl out of me, with a blind eye and my mouth wide. I'm talking in my sleep. Let the blinds fall, and the night is young. Unlike my vault, full of my secrets left unsung, and I fall deep with you next to me, with my eyes closed, but my mouth goes when I'm talking in my sleep. Yeah, my shadows crawl out of me, with a blind eye and my mouth wide. I'm talking in my sleep.
I tell you I love you, and I try and stay true. But when I sleep talk you, baby, you'll find out what I do. When I'm talking in my sleep, yeah, my shadows crawl out of me. With a blind eye and my mouth wide, I'm talking in my sleep. I'm talking in my sleep. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, as you can imagine, like DJ Premier's nasty beat underneath it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Speaking of Swedes, Norwegians, how about? I did this song in Norway recently with a whole group of world-class musicians. A guzheng player, violinist. It's really fun. It's really fun being over there. It's called Soon Baby Soon.
Well, there was a time when I didn't know which way the wind would blow, but I knew that it would take me there. And sometimes I still don't know why I am where I am, but I must say I wouldn't have it any other way, no. When you need to keep your chin up high and you don't know why, soon, baby, soon you'll find it. And the last you checked, your well was dry. Oh, soon, baby, soon you will find it. And if you find that you feel alone, you can't tell where that wind is blown, just trust that it will take you there. 'Cause sometimes I still don't know why I am where I am, but I must say I wouldn't have it any other way, no. When you need to keep your chin up high and you don't know why, soon, baby, soon you will find it. And the last you checked, your well was dry. Oh, soon, baby, soon you will find it. Throw a penny down with a pocket full of gold. Are we lucky enough to grow old? Throw a penny down with a pocket full of sun. Are we lucky enough? Are we lucky enough? When you need to keep your chin up high and you don't know why, soon, baby, soon you will find it. And the last you checked, your well was dry. Oh, soon, baby, soon you will find it. Ah, soon, baby, soon you will find it. Oh, soon, baby, soon you will find.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful.
I'm sure you're hearing all the other instruments in your head when you're playing.
I am.
'Cause I almost feel them,
Cool.
you know, and that's not easy to do, but it comes across, you know, not because I've heard you with backing and I've heard you with, you know, now on your own, but it works both ways.
Oh, great. I'm glad. But I love holding space for other people to feel and also to perform, musically, emotionally, everything. So it's nice to play that song like I just did and then leave this whole open window of space for people to just, pour out.
Yeah, it's the space in between. I was imagining different arrangements, in the same song.
Yeah.
So it was like it's like an open sort of canvas with you in the middle of it. So
Cool.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about your interesting, sort of journey, the whole DJ premiere of it, which maybe doesn't seem obvious on the surface, but there must be a story here.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I came across the country from New York at 17, kind of found my way. I was playing percussion in different groups, different bands, and then I would write songs and kind of pitch them to the front person, And this one band, they were like, hey, you should sing it maybe. Why don't you move up to the front? So bashful and everything, I just went right up there and started to lead these bands in San Diego. And my mom, back in New York, ironically, was at one of her parties with her friends and shared the music with another friend, and that woman's son happened to be DJ Premier's manager. So he gave me a call, and he was like, let's do something. Have you ever heard of DJ Premier before? And I was like, who? And yeah, it was amazing. My whole world opened up into in a whole nother way. Like, I've always had percussive, rhythmic flow, as drums being my first instrument. So dropping into the hip hop world, but with my ethereal kind of primal writing style, it felt perfect in a way,
Well, that makes a lot of sense that you were a drummer, or that you are a drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so, is there a process that you go to? Do you find that you start in the middle of an idea and then work out from a center idea and then build a song around it, or do you are you a chorus person? You get a hook and then you struggle with the second verse for 3 months, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. It kind of just flows through my body. Like, it doesn't really belong to me. So, if I'm lucky enough, that it'll come through. I know I heard Tom Waits saying one time that it comes at the most inconvenient times, like while he's driving or whatever, but I could really relate to that. Like, it'll just come through me, like almost like I have to go to the bathroom, and it's more of an emotional, melodic sound that I kind of push and form words into. I used to use animism a lot in the way of finding connection between, let's say, like a boat and an ocean, and leave them both out of it, and how there's such a symbiotic relationship between so many things, inanimate, alive, not alive. And it's kind of a similar story again and again. But yeah, I learning a lot about numerology and human design. Apparently I'm a reflector, which means that I'm kind of like a mirror. So it helps me to be around people and kind of drop in empathetically to their story. And then I form song from what I feel they might be feeling.
So you're a good listener.
I like to listen, yeah.
Are you one of those people who says something really smart and pithy and then gets out of the way and lets everybody else do it?
Totally. I took after my dad with that. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot of plagiarism if you just ask some questions and get the heck out of the way.
Big time. It's so easy. All the answers are inside the test.
Yeah, we're giving away trade secrets here.
Yeah. You asked for them.
So that's what it's for. It's the Guild of Music Supervisors.
That's right. And Friends of the Guild.
So, experience with putting your music to picture of any kind, still installations, television, features, short.
Well, yeah, that's always been my dream behind making music from a small child being. I remember telling my uncle, he was like, what do you want to do when you get older? And I was like, I just want to make music for movies. And he looked at me like, oh, really? But something about, like, I don't know, having a song playing while somebody's driving in snowy Ohio in a Jim Jarmusch film, for me, just like completes me, you know? I want to provide sound and feeling for what's visually being given to us.
You just had I triggered something when you said Jim Jarmusch, and that just sent me off into some sort of visual reference space. Movies that, along with Jim Jarmusch, if you could, I'll have, general meetings with people and young composers who, want some advice, and I give them what I can. But one of the suggestions that I've made to, composers coming, out of school programs, whatever, or, just being ready to sort of do it, see if they can do it. They said, well, you can't score a film unless you've scored a film, and you got to have a job to get a job and all that stuff.
Right,
and I said, well, why don't you take one, take a favorite scene from a favorite movie, turn the sound off, and write music to it, and see what it feels like. What movies would you, are there any things that you would immediately go, yeah, I'd like to do, that movie, Kill Bill 2, or,
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another thing is over the time. It's also what KT was talking about is that time that you have to find yourself, And I have definitely, I love to collaborate with all different kinds of producers. So the genres, I feel like they know no bounds for the way that I love to write. So there'd be so many different movies, but when I think about my soul, my deep soul feelings, it would probably be either a Lynch short or like Stranger Than Paradise, like Jim Jarmusch type of like really just open space and kind of this like unsettling feeling, anticlimactic almost, but it just gives you that space to breathe, and feel.
Well, so maybe you should do that.
Yeah.
We'd all love to hear it. So what are you currently working on? What's this weird year for you like? What have you been doing in lockdown? And is it creative? Is it freeing? Is it?
Yeah, it's been very, very, very creative for me. This feels like really comfortable for me. I have decided to do a song a week, release a song a week. And so that's been really intense, and figuring out the business side of it and where I wanted to go and what would make me really happy about it and different genres, different collaborations, and building lots of music videos with my partner who directs and films. So we've been just going nuts, I've really committed to this every Friday release, and doing like rooftop performances, like just really staying busy. I love it.
It's great. A friend of mine said, those of us who are lucky that are continue to work, and it's amazing, that so much can get done remotely, but that it reminded him of being, having that freedom of being sort of a teenager, when you're getting to, the early days of, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, when you're discovering the world in a way that you haven't before, and it all seems possible.
Right.
I've talked to, a number of artists and who said that this is an incredibly creative time.
It's like this apocalyptic feeling of what are you doing? Do you want to be doing it? And what are you not doing that you really want to do?
Right. So you said when we were pre-show, we were chatting, and so you're in Sedona.
I am in Sedona right now.
Which is
My
a magnetic hotspot.
Oh, yeah.
So you must be really channeling some heavy stuff out there.
I'm channeling heavy stuff, and I brought this special stone with me. It's a Moldavite.
Wow.
It's very special, and it gives intense energy right from the core of the earth up into your head. So I didn't know how this was going to go. My heart is definitely flowing here. Feels good.
For those of you who've been there, I'm telling you, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if you haven't been to Sedona, it's worth a trip. Because the place is got something going on. I don't know what I believe about this, but I've been in a few spots that Southern Oregon has a few strong hot spots, Mount Shasta, backside of Lhasa, and all that stuff. And there's just something that, feels like it's the universe is more available through nature. So interested to see, you will have to get out of it and then not be there for a while. And then you can sort of define like what influence it had on you and what song,
Right.
not because of the location you were in.
Yeah.
KT wrote a beautiful, I think you were in Arizona, weren't you, KT, when you wrote your Heartbreak album that's so beautiful?
It's in Tucson.
Yeah.
And the Sonoran Desert is kind of you just drive and it's unbelievable. I mean, it's, those landscapes that just shut you up, basically.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's doing that, Torii, which is great. It's making you very prolific, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's humbling. It can be
Yeah, humbling, yeah, for sure.
if you like nature. It's nice to get someone big sirs like that for me. It's like just like I'm happily insignificant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it becomes about, being a channel as opposed to being, it's about me. This is what I have to say and this is what I think. And I'm going to write a song and, it's all about me, 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 me.
Right.
And I feel that in the music that I've been listening to of yours this week, Torii. So
Cool.
you have a new fan.
All right.
A new fan.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to get, everyone's going to circle back and we're going to get another song from you a little bit later.
Into it.
And anything else? Anybody have any questions? I'm not sure that I'm seeing or, this is a conversation. This is a cocktail hour. I mean, no, I don't see anybody drinking. I'm having some Fiji water, but what's this? Okay. The Michael Scott. There you go, Michael. Some people are paying attention to the invitation. And any questions for Torii? You want to know what her favorite color is?
Can I ask a question?
You're allowed, yes.
Amazing. I would like to ask a question. Torii, I'm so completely blown away with the way you sing.
Oh, thank you.
It's like I hope this is a compliment. It certainly would be if I got this, but you remind me of Sinead O'Connor.
Ooh, love it.
In your delivery, because there's a bite and there's a real urgency to the way that you sing. And I wondered, is that just what came out when you started singing, when you started fronting those bands?
Not exactly that, but it was in there. Listening back, it was in there. Sinead's definitely an influence. I love the power.
And I don't mean to say that because you sound like her, but it's just this urgency that you have, which is super cool and means it's really nice because when you were singing, it takes up that silence. It's a kind of another player in your music,
Cool.
above just vocal and guitar is that urgency you have.
Wow, thanks a lot.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't really consider myself much of like a guitarist, but it's definitely, it accompanies the
Yeah.
night out, the urgency.
I love your voice.
Cool, thank you
Yes,
so
so do I.
much.
So do I. Thank you for those two, and we'll be back with you.
All right.
And this is we have an abundance of wonderful stuff today. And the third artist that I want to introduce is Kris Angelis, who I had a little chat with before we started the program. Kris is from Gainesville area in Florida, the rural parts. One of the things that popped out in the bio stuff I got on you, Kris, was that you. I've always been fascinated by sibling harmonies because of the actual anatomy of voice boxes being similar and the blend that siblings can get. And I noticed that you part of your bio talked about singing with your identical twin sister. So talk about that because it jumped out at me and I thought, oh, that's a really interesting thing. And how's that influenced you as an artist? You're on your own, but yet learning to sing and harmonize with your sister,
Yeah, we started singing together when we were very, very young. I think we wrote our first song together when we were 3, and it was about being 55 years old and we were outside and we were cold. I don't really understand what it's about, but I still remember it. And she is the one that always learned how to harmonize. For some reason, I became the lead singer, and she knew how to harmonize. And for a while, I was like, I don't know how to harmonize. I need her. And she like taught me how to do it. So whenever I'm harmonizing with myself, I always feel like I'm just channeling her. You know, I don't know, this is going to sound weird, but like there are times with the whole twin thing where sometimes I do feel like I'm her and she's me, like somehow we switched souls for a second. So it is kind of like that, in an awesome way. Like I get to have this other piece of myself out there in the world doing cool stuff, and then she comes together with me and adds amazing stuff.
Do you
to my
hear her?
music.
Do you hear her singing harmonies in your head when you're at times when you're performing?
Yeah, I mean, I wish that she was singing with me always. But she's an actress, so she's doing her thing. But whenever I can get her to slow down and sing with me, like when I do my full band shows, usually, it's really, really awesome and special. And I love just having the camaraderie on stage too. She's like my little, security blanket. I just look over at her and it's like, oh, cool, hey.
Well, you should make a deal with her that she does at least a certain number of shows with you every year.
She's pretty much game. Unless she's off filming a movie or something, she's down. She's awesome. And she also just directed 2 of my music videos. She's very multi-talented.
Very, very good. Well, we can chat more, but I'd love to hear you play.
Yeah. All right. So I realized, I'll just get right into the feels, that whenever I get my heart broken, I do really intense things, not usually unhealthy things, but just sort of intense things. Like I ran up and down all of the stairs in a 95,000 seat stadium, and then my legs didn't work, so that was distracting. And then I watched 52 movies in 1 week after a breakup. It was because I had to watch them for the SAG Awards, but still. And then last year, in the second half of the year, I just was like, I got heartbroken again. And I was like, well, I'm going to go play in all the states. I just got in my car and like was booking it as I went, and I played in every single state in less than 6 months. And then I was like, well, I hope I never fall in love again. So that's what this song is about. I hope I never fall in love again. It just hurts too much and always ends. I don't believe in what that Shakespeare penned. I hope I never fall in love again. I think we both know what is really true. I couldn't even if I wanted to. Oh, because I'm still in love with you. Oh, because I'm still in love with you. I hope I never fall in love again. You know it's you and it has always been. Feels like my heart will never ever mend. I hope I never fall in love again. I'm trying hard, but I just can't pretend. I never wanna fall in love. Maybe I will, but I just don't know when. And that's terrifying me knowing. And what I really need is something real, a shroud to cover you so I can heal, so I can risk it and not give a damn. Then I'll rush in just like the fool I am. I hope I never fall in love again. You know it's you and it has always been. Feels like my heart will never ever mend. I hope I never fall in love again. 'Cause now I'm living in a fantasy that you'll come find me on that never want to fall in love again. I want to risk it and not give a damn. Then I'll rush in just like the fool I am. So there's that. Thank you. Muted. Well, I can't be muted. That doesn't work. Yeah. So that we're not totally depressed, this is the happy song, the somewhat happy song on my record, that Siren Hope. This is the record that I actually wrote during that whole experience with the driving across country and all that. And I wrote this one with Garrison Starr halfway through the tour, and it was kind of involving some of the experiences that I'd had there along the way. You know, skinny dipping in hot springs and whatnot. And, but it does also very much apply to what's been going on this year it's about feeling like you're being haunted by something that's holding you back, being a pressure on you, and realizing, wait a second, that person or that thing is a ghost and it's haunting me, but I don't have to turn into a ghost. I don't have to live there. I don't have to be in purgatory because I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, and I can use that life and that breath to fight for the people who don't have their breath anymore, which is so much what we're all dealing with in so many different ways right now. So this song is called Ghost, I'm Alive and Breathing. Start creaking in the back of my mind. Shaky confessions online. LA traffic never looked so good. Maybe I misunderstood. You took my hand, I couldn't look you in the eye. Just trying to see you through the smoke. And I believed it could be real this time. Almost forgot you're a ghost. I'm alive and breathing. My heart's still beating. I don't wanna be dreaming. Yeah, I'm alive and breathing. Last time I saw you, the moon looked the same. Your hands so cool on my skin. Then it was waxing, but now it wanes. Did that really happen? This road's so dark, it's got me hoping to thieves. Singing my way up the coast. I'm a thought, I'm a lark, fill the space in between. Feels like I'm just a ghost. I'm alive and breathing. My heart's still beating. I don't wanna
Yeah.
Thanks.
And that's on the album.
Yes.
So tell me, with a little bit of ignorance, showing my age, I've been reading album credits. That's how I got in, knew where I wanted to work and that I wanted to move to LA and who played, bass on the third track of some Jackson Browne record, et cetera. So tell us a little bit about how you made this record, who you made it with, where you made it, who produced it, because those are the things I would be looking for on the back of your 12-inch vinyl.
Yeah. Which is right over there.
Well,
But I, so I wrote that song with Garrison Starr. 3 of the songs on the record are with her, and then the rest I wrote by myself. But I recorded it with Billy Loeffler at Death Star Studios in Koreatown, here in LA.
right.
And let's see, who else played on it? I got Jeb Bose from Gregory Alan Isaachoff's band playing fiddle on there. And Ashley, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but her last name is NG. But playing cello, and then Billy played most of the other instruments. He's a drummer and piano player and all that good stuff. And then I played some of the guitar and sang.
And what's the name of the studio in K-Town?
Death Star Studios.
Oh, it's one I don't know.
It's on Western.
It's right. It's about a mile from my house.
Oh, should go say hi.
I will. Let's knock on their door and say, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Have some musicians with me. Let's cut a record.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. An unused studio is a sad affair as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
At the end of the night or end of a day and, you leave, it's okay. But I mean, when I visit studios and I love them, they're like cathedrals to me, like if there's not music being recorded in them, it's like, well, that's a little sad.
Yeah. What's going to be reverberating through the walls now?
That's right. And I know a lot of the studios are struggling, for people to feel comfortable to come in and work. And we're trying to get scoring sessions happening, here and around the world. And what do you do with singers? And, what do you do with horn players that are blowing the mouthpiece, or flutes are now the number one criminal in the orchestra because you blow across the mouthpiece. And so,
no.
things that we didn't have to think about, but I for so many reasons, but I can't wait for, the lights to come back on all the studios and people to make music.
I thought you were talking about like horn players must be rough if they have to stay at home and they're like trying to record. Their neighbors hate them.
Well, there's that too. There's probably that too. And that's why, it helps that people have been building home studios, been working independently for years. We literally did part of the score for Tenet remotely. I mean, we had 45 players, but they were all in their own spaces, and they were sent Pro Tools or Logic sessions and the music, and they recorded on their own, and then we sent it, uploaded to the cloud, and then the music editor put it together in a master session and then mixed it and made it sound. Yeah. I mean, so it can happen. And so luckily.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've been involved in the whole Grammy process that's happening, and there are a bunch of albums that were recorded totally remotely that are on the ballot right now, which is so cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of great stories that are, that are being told and have been told, and that will come out of this time. Let your obstacle be your opportunity. Nobody asked for this, but to make the most of it is kind of a cool thing.
Totally.
So what's next? Just work on the next album, writing songs.
Yes.
Are you doing live stuff through social media?
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of fun stuff. I'm like partnering with a wine company, so doing this thing called Sip and Sing. So that's going to be a fun little like series that I'm doing. Working on, I just put out a new song today, which I'm going to play as my third song. And yeah, just been writing, learning Greek, doing the whole
impressive
Grammy thing.
That's impressive.
Hanging out with my cat. She really missed me last year.
I will share that somebody that I know has come up with, we're living in a time of conspiracy theories are all in vogue. So, and this one is just as viable as any of them. It's a canine conspiracy, the whole COVID thing.
I've heard.
We're all staying home with our dogs, and the cats are now in on it as well. Think about it. That we're with them all the time. We never leave. We take them on more walks than ever. The pack is always together.
Yep.
And they got the fireworks canceled.
The first time ever that cats and dogs have worked together.
But they just didn't know that there were so many Angelinos that had Roman candles, a case of them in their garage, and blow. I've never seen so many fireworks in my life on 4th of July. But they tried, and and trick or treating's being canceled. So it's a canine conspiracy. Think about it.
I mean, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, food for thought. So I think KT. Anybody else have any questions? We're doing good on time. Trying to be mindful. Anybody want to ask Kris any questions about her beautiful music? Love your voice.
Thank you.
I wanted to harmonize.
Oh, why didn't you?
Well, I did in my head.
Oh, okay, good.
I could hear a Graham Parsons kind of harmony with you.
Yes, love it.
Yeah, I love
someone asked about her learning Greek.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, my last name Angelis it's Greek. It used to be Angelidis before my great-grandfather came through Ellis Island. They changed his name from Demetrius Angelidis to James Angelis. And so I just wanted to, my mom's Colombian. She was born in Colombia. My dad's side is Greek, so I just wanted to kind of learn my heritage languages. So I started doing that at the end of last year and just got really into it recently. It's fun. There are too many words for though. I don't know if any of you out there know Greek or anything about it, but there are literally 28 words for the. It's just stop.
Yeah, well, that just turned me off from trying to tackle Greek. I'm still working on French and Italian and Spanish.
Well, there you go. But it's fun because there are a lot of things, if you think about it, that come from Greek in our language. So there are a lot of words that you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's what that word is. It's hard to tell because it's a different alphabet. So you look at the word and it looks totally different, but you're like, oh, that word is pizza. And that's how it's pronounced too. But it looks totally different. But it's easy and hard.
Are there any other questions?
Quick comment.
Yeah.
Just wanted to compliment Kris on that magic moment. I believe it was verse 2, making that transition from a chest voice to that beautiful high falsetto. That's really hard to do, and you did it. You made it sound effortless. Made me think of people like Sarah McLachlan and Joni Mitchell and people that do that, and they make it effortless, and that was stunning. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I don't know who's talking, but I really appreciate you.
It's James.
James
Okay.
Paul.
Are you not on video? Can't see you. But thank you.
My camera's on the fritz right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? They'll think of them as soon as we move on. That's what always happens. Oh yeah, no, I want to ask Kris that. And so we're going to come back. We'll have a chance to save up your questions
Well, I'm annoyed because I wanted to ask KT something, but now I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
Well, you have some time, Kris.
Here, Kris.
Okay.
That was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Your voice is so incredible. I mean,
We need to harmonize together.
Let's do it.
Please.
Let's do it.
It's a good time to collaborate.
Yeah.
Can't go anywhere. Just collaborate.
I love it.
Great stuff. And I think we're going to kick it back to KT, who's going to do another song or two for us.
I'd love to. I'd love to play a song which I'm really proud of, which was on my most recent record. So I have reacted to this idea that people don't buy albums anymore by making a trilogy. So I'm just like, fuck you, I'm making 3. Because I love making records, and all the artists I love release albums. So I'm not seeing a downturn in great artists making albums. It just doesn't seem real to me. And so this one is from my trilogy is about soul, body, and mind. And I think it was just this turn as well where people were getting really into TV shows, and where people were loving a longer arc of story. People were loving getting involved in a bigger picture than just, you know, one song or a movie. They want to know more. There's a hunger for more depth, and it's been really cool doing a trilogy that's thematic and kind of ring fencing the material for each record. Has been great. So it's soul, body, and mind. It's called the Kin trilogy. The first one was Kin, that was about the soul. Wax was the one I released in 2018 about the body. And then during that, I mean, you know, the soul record, my life changed dramatically. Then on the body record, I totally lost all my hearing in my left ear. So I'm now half deaf. And I'm like, what the hell is going to happen during the Brain record? And here we are. It's like a parallel universe in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm making a record about the brain, which I've started remotely with amazing producer Martin Terefa, who I've written with for years and years and years. And this song I did write with him. And he just brought Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Dead Man to my house in Venice Beach. And we just sat down and wrote this song, and I love it. And I'd moved to California, and this song is called Dark Side of Me. And it's really about the fact that you can run anywhere. You're always going to be there. It doesn't matter how good the weather is. You're always going to be there.
Suddenly I tell you that I need you in the way that I do. Pretended we were opposites, but it's not the truth of it. I denied you. Physical and feminine, these are just the words that we use. But they don't mean a thing when I got the blues. I feel somebody else. I ran to California, felt the water at my feet, but I still got a dark side of me. Sipping up adrenaline, trying to make the skeleton move. I treat myself like firewood, even though I knew I could learn to adore you. With me like a shadow, but I always have to hide it away. But then I let it grow, too big for the cage. I feel the bad blood rising, it's real. Like I'm somebody else. I know I can't afford to let this overtake me. I still got a dark side. I'm somebody else. I always try to warn you, there are casualties, 'cause I still got a dark side of me. I still got a dark side of me.
Yeah.
Kris, I love that you're doing that, because I was just talking about me losing my hearing on one side, but my younger brother was actually born profoundly deaf. And that's applause.
Yeah.
When you're doing in the deaf community, that's how you clap. So you can imagine when I told my little brother that I'd gone deaf in one ear, he's like, "Oh, poor you," violin.
So really, jazz hands is just
Yeah, so this is in
language
in
for
sign
clap.
language. This is applause.
Wow, it's worth
Yeah.
the mission right there.
And
Yeah,
like,
we
help
need
me.
this needs to be a Zoom thing. Oh, and here's another one for you. Guess what this is? It's bullshit.
That's good.
It's very good. So I wanted to play the song that opened basically Jules Holland fired me out of a cannon on his TV show in front of The Cure and Anita Baker and Jackson Browne. And it was an amazing moment, you know, and I'd basically written this song. It was a very automatic writing exercise. I really didn't get analytical about the lyrics at all. It was completely just what came out, and I followed that amazing Neil Young advice that you just don't mess with the subconscious and you just let it come out and stick with it. And it really did it for me. And the lyrics are a bit weird, but it's really a Robert Johnson, you're at a crossroads and you've got to choose which way you're going to go. So, and then Paul, we'll talk about this song, okay? Everyone can put their backing vocals in the chat, please.
Well, my heart knows it better than I know myself, so I'm gonna let it do all the talking. Came across a place in the middle of nowhere with a big black horse and a cherry tree. I felt a little fear upon my back, said don't look back, just keep on walking.
I can't remember the last word. This is what happens. You delete the ones you know.
And I said no, 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 you're not the one for me. No, 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 you're not the one for me.
Wow. The chorus could apply to so many things right now.
And my heart hit a rumble in the early hours, so stopped it dead for a beat or two. But I cut some cord and I shouldn't have done it. Won't forgive me after all these years. So I sent it to a place in the middle of nowhere with a big black horse and a cherry tree. And it won't come back 'cause it's oh so happy now. A lot of hope in the world to see. Yeah. And it said no, 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 you're not the one for me. No, 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 you're not the one for me.
Yes, hashtag vote 2020.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all your backing vocals, guys. I could hear them.
Yeah, you know, I would have turned mine on and recommended everybody did it but it was fun singing. But we've done this with my department. We've done happy birthdays together. It's
the worst.
It's chaos because the latency is just chaos. So
it's almost like listening to like Steve Reich. It's like was mental.
Yeah. So we spared you that, but
Thank
sounds great. Yeah. That was my introduction to you in a hotel room in London, probably around 2005. And I go, what is going on here? I love this. And I rewatched, if anybody has seen them or you haven't seen them, KT on Daryl Hall's. Some incredible one in 2008 or 9. I think the first time you went on was fantastic. You did a set there a couple of years ago.
When I got to play Out of Touch on the Glockenspiel, ding, 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 ding. It was amazing.
And, Daryl, who's a pretty amazing, blue-eyed soul singer. No slouch himself.
Maybe the most amazing male singer I've had the pleasure to sing with. Just incredible.
He just loves singing with you.
Yeah. Well, I was meant to be on the road with them for 5 months.
I know. That'll happen.
It'll happen.
That'll happen.
Yeah, so that song was so strange because I'd finished the record, Eye to the Telescope. Black Horse wasn't on it. And then I'd made this band record, but I couldn't really afford a band. So that was when a friend of mine said, check this loop pedal out. Why don't you just use that? And I'd seen Jim White, who's a kind of indie guitarist, put his guitar through it. And then I'd seen this weird Canadian guy called Son of Dave did beatboxing and played his harmonica through it. But my kind of eureka moment was that I thought, surely if I just bash my guitar, I can get the beats. And I tried it and it sounded terrible. And we had to do a bunch of crazy EQing and stuff. And then we worked out how to do it. And so I wrote Black Horse basically learning how to use the loop pedal and wondering if there was a vocal part that I could actually have running through the whole thing that wasn't too annoying. And I could still kind of move the chords around a bit. And then I could build it and put other parts in. And that's what I played when the Jules Holland Scouts had come around looking for a new artist. And I got the call. I mean, I've told the story a lot, but Nas, the rapper, pulled out with 24 hours notice. And of course, they called me. It's a nightmare, Paul. Like Drake, he's ill. They call me. And I'm like, I can't, guys. I'm busy. No, it never, ever happens. But I took the spot and I had 24 hours to get down to London. And my label boss just said to me, play that horse song, the woohoo thing. And I was like, but it's not on the record. And he said, don't worry about it. Trust me, just play it. So I played it. And for some mental reason, my whole wardrobe choice was completely bizarre. But one of the weirdest things I did was I wore a pair of Skechers hiking boots that had really wide treads on them. And so I'd done the breakdown and I went to punch back in and the button went in a tread and I didn't push the pedal. And Anita Baker's drummer came up to me after the show and was just like, I loved it when I thought you were going to come back in, but you waited. You waited. I waited for you. I love that. And I was like, thanks very much. It was so funny. And then I think my favorite shot on that show was that there was a camera shot of me tiny through a gap in Robert Smith's hair. And it was an amazing experience. But yeah, so basically I won the online poll of the favorite artist of the evening and it just went crazy. And so we rush released the record and we had to put Black Horse on it, but we had no recording. So the first 10,000 copies of the record have the audio from Jules Holland on. So if you have one of those copies, sell it on eBay and just get a normal.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
It was just meant to be.
Absolutely. It was a real, and it was weird because it seems like everybody saw that, everybody seems to have seen that episode. And it was just one of those amazing moments where as a singer-songwriter, I'd been playing for years. I'd been playing for 10, 15 years at that point, but I had never thought that it would actually be the visual side of it being equally impactful of people seeing me use a looper and that just blowing up. And it was the beginning of YouTube. It was just, becoming a big thing. And so, what would have happened if no one could have seen, if it was just on TV and it wasn't on, YouTube or whatever. It's very different. A real convergence of timing as well.
luck is sort of that thing where you're ready to recognize the opportunity and you walk through the door.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Osborne, who produced that first record, said a very good thing to me. He just said, yeah, sure, you got the opportunity to go on Jules Holland and everyone saw you, but nothing happens if you're shit. So that was a good lesson to just, luck is one thing, but you have to deliver when the luck arrives,
Yeah, it's kind of like those revolving doors, you have to go in at the right time or you can get whacked in the butt.
Yeah, I like what Atik has just said. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly.
And James says, try hard not to be shit. It's great advice.
Well, there's no shit going on here.
No.
Good shit. So, Torii, what do you have in store for us now? I can't wait.
Well, there are so many songs in the world to sing, and we're going to take up this next few minutes with this one song of my choice.
Ooh.
Can you believe it?
Lucky you.
Sorry, Torii, looks like we're muted.
How do we feel now?
There we go.
Hey dear, come on, don't waste our time. I've stayed so long that you know that I care. Come home. Come home. Come home. Home now. Hey dear, come on, don't leave me here. I've stayed so long that you know that I can't. Come home. Come home. Come home. Home now. Now. Home now, no. Home. Come home. home.
Wow. Wow. My favorite. You topped yourself.
All right.
So much space and so economical. That's brilliant. It's
Thank
really
you.
great. Gave me goosebumps. I saw
Yeah.
other people writing chills and ooh,
Cool.
thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thanks for listening. It means the
Is that-
world to me.
Is that when did you write that, Torii? Is that new? Has that been in your repertoire for a while?
Yeah, that's been with me for a while.
Must have missed that, but I'm going to find it.
Yeah, I actually, before I worked with DJ Premier, I had a band. I had two other girls that play with me, and we go by Ghost Tents. So it's a lot of space, a synth bass and an electric guitar, and sometimes I'll drum. But just kind of, like Portishead, but naked,
Good description. If someone said, you're always trying to pitch music or to your filmmakers or somebody else, and Portishead but naked. Whoever's pitching your stuff, you should give them that quote.
Yeah, okay.
And not to finish the party without hearing from Kris again. Kris, what do you have for us?
Hi.
This is great. I have to say, thank you so much for having me host this thing. It's like a gift on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for hosting, and thank you for having me. And Torii, oh my gosh, I was like trying not to cry because I'm like, well, if I cry, then I won't be able to sing very well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. This song is the song that I just put out today, and it's called My Quiet. It's kind of the opposite. Yours is about please come home, and mine's about trying to get back kind of home, and emotionally or physically. Actually, I started writing it at the very end of that 50-state tour, the last mainland state, and then I was gonna drive. It was in Boulder, and that day was a beautiful day. It was like sunny outside. I was wearing a dress. It was an outdoor show, and that night it just blizzarded. It was crazy. It was like 8 inches of snow, and dropped to like single digits, and I got snowed in, and I was actually sitting in a coffee shop watching the snow melt off of everyone's shoes and making little puddles on the floor, and you'll see that that's the second line, where the second line came from, and that's where I started writing this song, and I finished writing it during deep quarantine. It's called My Quiet. You're my quiet in a crowded room. The storm is rolling off my shoes. Minor chord in a hopeful tune. The dust that settles a sweet perfume. I'm just trying to get back to you. You're my flower on the interstate, an easy shot that ricocheted. I'll walk away, but I'll walk slow. If I'm honest, I've nowhere to go. I'm just trying to get back to you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You're the eye of a hurricane, a blindfold shot with perfect aim, golden hour before the dark. Open heart that left a scar. And we tried to celebrate the skies that we looked to didn't have what it takes. We made wishes anyway, so our hearts that were breaking could beat another day. You're my quiet in a crowded room, minor chord in a hopeful tune. I'm just trying, I'm just trying, I'm just trying to get back to you. And I just wanted to, no, thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say before I forget, I'm doing a fancy with a band show at the Hotel Cafe. There's not going to be an audience, but they're going to stream it. And it's going to be with a band that I haven't seen in a year, and well, since January anyway. So that's October 8th at 7 p.m. if you guys want to check it out. Can you hear me? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, we can,
Oh, there you go.
we can hear you. Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I heard accordion.
There was accordion in the recording. Good job.
Yeah, just you and accordion and acoustic guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to have accordion in one of my recordings, and I thought my producer was going to hate it, but he just like went and got it. And I was like, thank you, finally.
Well, it's a perfect, time signature for an accordion.
I never thought about it being the time signature, but yeah, it worked anyway.
Yeah, I was dancing with myself here. That's the name of a song. Well, Kris, that was fantastic, and we're going to finish out the set. It's going by so fast. This is just a treat. But KT, I think, has one more tune for us. I have no idea what she's going to do.
It's a surprise. I'm just being completely broadsided by Madonna saying that anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with accordion. I did not know that about you. Madonna, accordion. Wow. So I want to, in way of a gift to you guys, thank you so much to everyone here and for having me and the Guild and Paul. It's such a pleasure to sing alongside Torii and Kris. They're just fantastic, beautiful, totally different colors in the palette. It's so nice. I wanted to sing you a song that's brand new that I've not played for anyone ever. And this song, the first band I ever got into was when I was about 8 years old, and it was Bon Jovi. And my big brother was listening to Bon Jovi and Van Halen and Def Leppard, and I used to sit outside his bedroom door and make mixtapes on my little tape machine. And it was sort of in between the songs was my brother telling me to get away from his door. And but Bon Jovi, I've always been like this mad love for the songs, and that Slippery and When Wet and all that. And one of the few things I did in lockdown in terms of spending time with other people is I did a writing session with Richie Sambora. And I went down to Laguna Beach to see him. I had no idea. We'd met a couple of times, and it was through our wonderful mutual friend, Joel Roman, who had put us in touch, and we'd kind of wanted to do it for a while. And I had no idea what to expect. I thought it just might be absolutely bananas. And we wrote 5 songs in 2 days, and they were all really good. And he just helped kick my ass getting back to nailing all the simple good stuff. And so I'd love to play you one of my favorite ones from that session, which I've not played for anyone. And this song was about realizing that, getting your heart broken that very first time actually still has not repaired. And that you're, even as, a middle-aged person, you're still completely broken from this first love, So that's what this is called. And it's called Breaking in a Brand New Broken Heart.
Seems I've been leaving a trail wherever I go. Oh, darling, I gotta turn around and pick up the pieces before it starts to show. Oh, yeah. I guess I took too long. Needed to belong to you, and you knew there was a need in me. I believed in us, I was so naive, and it fucked me up, but I still got all the patience to forgive. Now I'm breaking in a brand new broken heart, and now I'm breaking in a brand new too many tears, too many hours, it just all got too familiar to me. Oh, all the lost letters and the big lies and the promise of better and the heroin butterflies and the throwaway goodbyes. And stood there in the rain as my bag emptied everywhere, and you just watched me catch that plane. And I'm glad I left. You're the stupidest genius I ever met, but you saved me, saved me, saved me from you. And now I'm breaking in a brand new broken heart. Oh yes, I'm breaking in a brand new broken heart. And not for you were everything, but I was better off alone. But I'm still breaking down a brand new broken heart. A brand new broken heart. I'm still breaking down a brand new broken heart. Richie Sambora!
Okay, all right. I'm just going to call this one. Has Daryl Hall heard this song?
He hasn't.
You need to cut this, maybe with his band, and he needs to sing background vocals.
Well, yes, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, it's perfect for you, having watched the performances and you guys sing together. That's got the
Great idea.
It's got the blue-eyed soul swing to it.
Totally.
Oh, get the bass player just dropping those.
Obviously, Richie needs to play a guitar solo on it.
Yeah, there you go. It's a family affair. It's beautiful. I love that song.
Yeah, it's really stayed with me. It's one I haven't written about. That heartbreak when I was 18. I fell in love with a hippie from Vermont, and it killed me. And I only realized really in the last year or two that it really damaged me, and I'd never gone back and actually worked on that. And I see now how it informed so many choices in the years after. We all have this where we get kicked, and then then you behave differently. And so really, really, really meaningful song for me, for sure.
It's a great song. It's
Thank you.
really, it could go on Abandoned Luncheonette too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, if anybody else has anything that,
Paul, I got a question on that. KT, because your brother was such a big Bon Jovi fan back in the day, did you tell him about your writing session with Richie?
Oh my God. So he had flown to New York when I played Live Earth in, what was it, like 2008 at Yankee Stadium, because Bon Jovi were playing. And that was me and my brother's moment in this life on earth, was watching Bon Jovi in Yankee Stadium, and Bush was in power, and John Bon Jovi says, "Would everyone please be upstanding for the national anthem?" And then they played Wanted Dead or Alive. And yeah, it was amazing. So one of the first things I did was sent a picture to my brother just going, "This has happened." And he was completely made up. He couldn't believe it.
Finally got some props from your brother hanging with the Bon Jovi crew.
Yeah, that was brotherly points, definitely.
Yeah, that story's got Joel Roman's fingerprints all over it.
Of course, that's Joel Roman.
Yeah. Really nice. So this is kind of this is the fun part that we've just done, and now we've got some other sort of little points of business or what have you.
Even funner part.
Funner, the most fun, actually.
Hey, Paul, could I just toss in one final parting comment?
Please, James.
After hearing these three incredible, amazing women, I think I'm just going to give up singing, songwriting, and playing the guitar.
The opposite of inspiration.
I nearly gave up when I saw Annie DeFranco in Manchester when I was 17. I nearly didn't do it because she was so I get it.
Same. If I'm inspired by something, I'm either like, trying to write songs like secretly on my arm as I'm listening to them, or like just being like, psh,
Angela just said it. She says true inspiration is pulverization.
Destroyed.
James, get a good night's sleep, lick your wounds, and you'll be fine in the morning. The scar tissue will heal, and you'll find a good song out of it.
Oh my God.
It was great. Michael, John. I mean, this is a perfect set of three. This grouping of these three artists has just been wonderful. I mean, it's diverse. And wide ranging, but all emotional and really honest. So well done, you guys.
I agree.
Thank you for doing
Thank you.
Next.
And thank you, Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
Paul.
What a host.
I'm available.
You got some time.
Oh, there's not enough room for another podcast, so I'll take anything when I talk about music. I see my good friend Joe Carr in the corner. Joe knows that I can just get me started about music. It's the only thing that I've ever loved consistently since I was a boy. So, it's good to hang out with you guys.
Awesome.
I don't think anyone here would mind if that just happened spontaneously.
Yeah, we're not going there. There's
Doing a
stories.
show.
There's stories you can tell, with a select group that everybody, and and then there's other stories,
All right, before we lose everybody, we got a couple more things to do.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, anybody.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. There's good stuff happening. John, do we kick it over to you, or who's going to?
Yeah, no, Levi's got, you're going to do the announcement, what we're going to do.
Oh, the guitar.
Yeah, so.
I didn't enter the contest because it wasn't an accordion, just saying.
What's the point?
Yeah, so as a bonus, those of you who signed up for this thing by the 18th are eligible for a lovely Gill guitar giveaway signed by none other than KT Tunstall.
This is it. This is the beauty.
Black. It looks similar to yours.
It does.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So Yeah, so somebody's going to be lucky here.
I'm going to provide some backing track for you.
Nobody gets sad. Yeah, this next segment's going to be scored by KT Tunstall.
All right, so Levi, how do we do this now?
All right, so these are all the folks who registered by the 18th. We had a total.
Joe Roman's on there.
Joe Roman does not need any more.
Roman was the first.
Early bird, Roman.
Be fair.
I think anyone named Joel is probably excluded from the competition.
Sorry, I kind of hear Hunter a little bit. So these are the folks that registered. And what we're going to do, there's 39 of them, so we're going to do a random drawing of these 39. So,
and you have to be on. You have to be on right now. Otherwise, you don't show, you don't.
Give it to somebody else.
22.
Which is Marty.
Silverstone.
Oh!
Marty. Are you here, Marty?
Is he on?
Marty.
Oh. Marty! Where is he?
No.
He's not on, I don't think.
Oh, someone's going to tell me loses.
This is not like the Academy. This is not like the Academy where we accept it on your behalf. You're not here, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
Yes.
Shut up.
Atik.
Atik was definitely here because I was reading
Yeah,
the
he's
score.
here. He's got to be here.
You can unmute yourself if you're here.
I am here. Sorry, I'm in the middle of work. Actually, in the middle of work. I can't believe I won.
Right.
Hey, I want to say, I don't know this guy, but this guy shows up for all our
He comes to everything. So
If you invite me to something, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up. That's just my philosophy on anything. Is if
I
you
love
invite
it.
Me. I cannot believe I won the guitar. That's amazing. I'm so stoked.
Awesome.
Wow.
She'll be bringing it to you wherever you're at.
Okay.
Yeah, well-
and I'm in LA, so.
Well, that's definitely helpful.
Yeah. I work down the street in Culver City, so. Well, I'm
Amazing. We can
NFL
get it.
Network, dude.
Yep. Yeah, I was just putting together some music for game day morning on Sunday, so I got a last minute request. So I was working on that too while listening to your guys' stuff.
By the way, I'm a little jealous because I saw you out on the new field on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there on Sunday. I just actually got my COVID results too, so I'm gonna be actually on the field this time.
That's amazing.
So
It's a great
if you want to
stadium.
follow me, Sports Guy 786, and you'll see video. It's a pretty amazing stadium.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
More than anything, congrats on not having COVID.
Yes. Oh, I know, right? Like, a week in a row, I passed the exam.
Yay!
It's like a positive negative, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I won a guitar. Yeah. KT, which is amazing. That's a great way to kick off the weekend. I mean,
Seriously.
yeah,
so
wow.
well deserved.
That's
All right,
amazing.
We're not done yet. We got to close out.
Poor Marty.
Supervisor trivia.
Donna.
All right, are we going to do the
Hold on,
trivia?
Levi, do we have our theme?
Working
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Here's our theme. Where is it?
Well, she got to start the questioning first, I think.
Oh, I do?
We got to
Okay.
clear the song first, you know?
You gotta
All
clear.
right, so just to be clear, most of these questions have multiple answers. So don't do your answers separately. You got to do them all in one post in the chat, okay?
Before you hit
So-
send, return. Mhm.
Yeah. All right, so
Hey, hold
first,
on. I have one more caveat. Hold on.
oh,
If you are an answer, if you're part of this, if
yeah.
do not do not vote for this one, okay? That's very important.
That's not fair.
That is fair. It's absolutely fair.
All right.
Joel feels
Oh,
bad.
This feels really thematic because Kris said she did a show for like wine, and the prize for the quiz is
yeah, right.
wine. There's a theme here.
Idaho States is giving a bottle of wine away to whoever
Yeah.
wins these questions.
All right, so there's going to be two answers to this first question. You ready? And I'm even going to take out the pronouns to make it harder. So, number one, This talented music artist has been synced in multiple films and TV shows throughout their career. Some of the notable placements include The Devil Wears Prada, Grey's Anatomy, One Tree Hill. Name the artist and at least 2 music supervisors who worked on those projects.
Hit it, Levi.
All right, who's watching for the answer?
I see nothing. I'm watching right now.
No one knows those answers? Oh.
Coming in.
Need the artist and 2 supervisors.
I only see 2 names.
Yeah. Somebody's got to put 3 names in their answer. 2 supervisors, 1 artist.
Lindsay and
Repeat
Alex.
the question.
Smith.
The artist has been in The Devil Wears Prada. Oh.
Jennifer Smith.
Can we get off a bottle?
Hey, did I win?
Like what? Like you can win and you have to drink the other half with me? Who's the close? Oh.
Jennifer Smith wins.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Madonna, you and I can drink that bottle. Heck yeah.
Yes,
Jennifer.
please. Yes, please. All right. So here's a good one.
Is
Again.
Lindsay still here too? Is that, I think we had one of the subjects of it. KT and Lindsay was here earlier.
Oh, she was. Oh, and I can add, and a certain supervisor put Black Horse in a Cherry Tree on the Smallville soundtrack.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
If we were in person, KT, I'd make you sign my CD.
And I'd give you an accordion.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Question number 2. It is also a 2-parter. There's 2 answers to this one. Last week, the Emmys gave out their 4th Emmy for Best Music Supervisor on a TV show. Who is the only other music supervisor besides Robin Erdang, congratulations, to win a Music Supervisor Emmy, and what show was it for? So besides Robin Erdang, who else has won, and what was the project?
I know.
You don't count, Joel. Oh, no, wait, what?
Yeah.
Someone got it.
There it is.
Ed Gerard wins.
Oh, I can't even see that. I don't have my glasses on.
Ed Gerard,
Perfect.
her friend from Woodstock, kind of an inside job there. Together.
Oh my goodness. All right. As it is awards week, just was. Here's one more awards question. Name 2 film projects. 2. That their supervisors have won Grammys. Yeah, Grammy statuettes. And the so name the 2 film projects, and you got to name the supervisors that were on the projects who won Grammys. That's a tough one. Oh, someone got it.
No.
I thought they did.
Hunter, were you allowed to play?
Well, that's why the way the question was phrased, we did have 2 different projects because there's 2 supervisors on one project.
Ah, very good.
So there it is. Maureen Crow is a winner.
There we go. Vino for everyone.
Maureen, tell us your spelling of Steve Gazicki's name.
Save Gazicki. He's in danger.
Hey, it's 8:30 here. I started at 7. So I gotta go.
You're a winner.
I'm tired.
She needs a glass of wine.
The movie. Actually, Steve Kaczynski's movie was, and he didn't get the nomination. He just got to take the award home. And because he worked on it, he worked on changing the rules so that music supervisors would get the nomination and get the award. So that's why Julia and Julianne got the nomination and the award. Okay.
Oh.
So, but I can't remember the movie.
That does it for this month's episode.
That's it.
Torii, Kris, you guys are awesome. Paul Brusek, amazing host.
Thank you so much.
Our Vice President of Music Trivia, thank you so much for that. And Plen, thanks for putting it together. Everybody have a great weekend and a happy Yom Kippur for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next month. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and Thursday we got a new panel coming up for podcasts.
What is that one, Joel? What panel is that?
That one's podcasts. That's the one I'm definitely tuning in for because that one is novel information to me. Learn.
We are here to learn during the COVID pandemic. We are here to teach you to learn. Thank you guys all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Can't wait to see you all live.
Yes.
Thank you.
Keep coming back, Atik. Keep coming back.
Congratulations, Atik. I'll be coming to see you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
Glenn.
Bye. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Bye.